When we discuss racist depictions in anime, a common argument comes along saying that Japanese people don't know any better, therefore it is not racist. Let's dissect this a little bit. I think there are two things that need to be understood when discussing racism and media as a whole. The first is that entertainment media will always be inherently a reflection of our society. This doesn't even necessarily have to do with any direct political messaging of a work. Even if you believe that media is solely meant for escapist entertainment, producers still have to consider what they believe we will be entertained by and thus making them money, and that is a reflection of society too. Why do you think there's currently a trend of companies producing nostalgia bait with their old IPs, for example? And the second thing is that racism has multiple dimensions. While there is aggressive, mediated interpersonal racism, racism can also be unintentional, often caused by structural institutions embedding certain biases, prejudices, and microaggressions into people without them even realizing it. I'll give you an example using myself. When I was growing up in the 2000s, Western media had me believing that Southwest Asian countries were these violent, lawless areas with no sense of order, which reflects the anti-Muslim sentiment that occurred after 9/11 at the time. Obviously, I know better now that I'm older, but my thoughts were still racist even if I didn't realize it at the time, and I had those racist thoughts in the first place because of structural institutions like entertainment media. So in the context of Japan, in the 1800s when America was openly trading with Japan during the Meiji era, Commodore Matthew Perry had introduced Japanese people to minstrel shows and performances. And if we subscribe to the idea that anime is heavily influenced by Disney, well, they don't exactly have a clean track record when it comes to depictions of black people either. These influential structures have helped shape both the intentional and unintentional racist perceptions of black people in Japan, and thus gets reflected in anime. This also helps explain how even Osamu Tezuka, a man I herald for his progressive thoughts on gender and respect for all human life, has racist depictions in his works. But we can't use that as a means to excuse anyone, and we have to accept that the depiction is still racist and ask better of people. There's even Japanese organizations like the Association to Stop Racism Against Blacks and the International Movement Against All Forms of Discrimination and Racism, which I can't reiterate enough are both led by Japanese people, that call out racism in their country. We're not doing anyone any favors by infantilizing and excusing people's actions by saying they don't know any better. We still have to call out racist depictions and actions even if they are unintentional. And despite how much information is readily available in 2026, between Captain Durag, Oda's depiction of the original African mother, the poor handling of the incident at the BAFTAs, and Gachiakata's stage play doing blackface, we obviously still have way more work to do. To me, it has nothing to do with calling a certain author racist or trying to cancel them. This is about something much bigger, recognizing the patterns and actions that perpetuate racism in our society and calling it out to bring awareness so that we can dismantle the very structures that have been put in place. This was the original meaning of what it meant to be woke.